108 here on the road. It is like riding through a blow dryer right now. Okay, good morning, everybody. Oh, it is 6:09. We are getting on the road. You know, it's going to be a long day when we're leaving before sunrise, the morning after the summer solstice. Whew. Yeah. We are in Miami at the Loan Depot last night. And we have to be in Atlanta, which is about 700 miles away, 677 miles away, tomorrow for a noon game. That audio is a little hard to hear, so let me catch us up real quick. We are leaving Miami at 6 a.m. on a Wednesday with the goal of seeing a baseball game in Atlanta at noon the next day. That gives us about 670 miles to ride in the meantime. And while I kind of had outside dreams of making it all the way to Atlanta that night, that would entail riding about 150 miles further than I've ever ridden on a motorcycle in one day. So realistically, the goal was just to get as far north as I could and leave myself an easy ride the next morning into Atlanta. And man, leaving Miami here was just so incredible. One of the most beautiful moments of the entire trip. Just perfect weather, beautiful sun, and a whole day ahead of myself with nothing to do but ride the bike. And you know what? Things actually went really smoothly on the way out of Florida, but after lunch, things started to take a turn. Because in this moment, the entire South was experiencing a gigantic heat wave. And right around noon, right around the Florida-Georgia border, things started to get very, very hot. 102. It says 108 here on the road. It is like riding through a blow dryer right now. This is fucking miserable. Oh my god. We saw 108 in Arizona, but that was dry. This is Georgia, so it's like muggy and hot. Ugh. Good time to do the longest day I've literally ever done on a bike. We're making good decisions today, people. We're making good decisions. Only 158 miles though. We are crushing it. That part is great. 109, the hottest we've seen anywhere here on the street. Good thing it is time to stop, cool off, and get some gas. Ooh. Now, the smart play would have been to find a hotel next to that gas station and crash for the night. But instead, I got back on the road and I got stuck in Atlanta rush hour traffic for another 2.5 hours in well over 100-degree heat. I cannot reiterate how stupid this was, and I was really lucky to make it through this in one piece without getting heat stroke or the bike dying. As it was, all of my equipment overheated, my maps, my cameras, everything, and I was just scrambling. Looking back on it, I probably should have just either like lane split or rode down the shoulder and taken a ticket if I got one and tried to talk my way out of it. It was not really safe to be out on the roads for this long in this amount of heat. But something or someone was looking out for me because I made it to Atlanta that day, and after a quick cold shower, I walked from the hotel to a baseball game. That's right, we made it to Atlanta in time to see the game that night. And you know what? We did it. So next stop, Truist Park, Atlanta, Georgia. Truist Park opened in 2017, and it is a beautiful modern baseball stadium, as you can tell from here. And as luck would have it, this is our third Pride Night that we were showing up to, so I was very excited. But that's where the problem sort of started, because I walked all over the stadium and there was absolutely no mention of Pride, both through events, signage, anything at all. If you didn't know to look for it, you never would have known it was there, which was hugely disappointing after the great Pride Nights we had in Kansas City and St. Louis. On top of that, at Braves games, they do the chop, which the National Congress of American Indians has called overtly racist and degrading and dehumanizing of Native people. Countless other Native tribes have also come out and expressed this opinion. And while Native voices aren't monolithic in their opinions on this, it is largely considered to be racist among that community, and there's just absolutely no reason for this to be happening at a sporting event in 2023. Baseball, much like motorcycling, has a reputation for not being very inclusive to people who don't look like the traditional wealthy white male participants, and things like this just make it harder and harder for the sport to grow and bring new people into the fold. Baseball is a great game, and I wish more people would feel comfortable being able to experience the joys of coming to a stadium and watching a game in person without being subjected to things like this. But yeah, that is it for Atlanta. I can't believe we made it here and we saw the game this night. It's kind of a miracle. It's the longest day I've ever done on a motorcycle, almost 700 miles. And spoiler alert, this record lasted all of one day. Literally the next day we break this record. So definitely tune in next time as we leave Atlanta and we head north up to Cleveland. I think it's going to be a good one.